Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So, listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the Path of Night.
Last time on Path of Night, Britta, Neil, and Wynn waited weeks for Reese to rouse their coterie mates from torpor, only for the Seneschal to show up with Sheriff Weathers, Prince Rollins, and Miles' sire, Archon Jan Peterson. Reese woke Miles and Johnny, but not without blood bonding the Bruja in the process. To Johnny's horror, Weathers told him that the prince has given every Bruja in the city the right of progeny, and is requiring each of them to embrace two new kindred as foot soldiers for an impending war with the Sabbat, bringing up traumatic memories for the furious bully boy. Miles was ordered to hold New Haven and keep Prince Rollins in power against the incoming storm of Sabbat invaders. After a few nights, the coterie meets in a bar to discuss with Miles what comes next. Miles, we pick up with you gathering the coterie together to meet at the Royal, which is located right over on Crown Street. It looks like there's already a throng of mortals that are kind of gathered around, and everyone's having a good time, listening to music. The energy is fantastic. It's exactly what you hoped for. And just as you intended, a space has been set aside for you to have a quieter conversation with the group. One at a time, each of you files through. You kind of have to turn your shoulders to the side and brush past some of the big hulking fellas who are talking to women and, you know, that classic energy. Waiting for you guys in that back corner of this bar is Miles, arms stretched and relaxed in his seat. And one at a time, you make your way over and have a seat.
Johnny sits down, pulls out a pack of cigarettes, tosses one in his mouth, lights up. So what's the deal?
Wynn walks in. She has a hood pulled over her head. It's definitely occluding her face a bit, but no one seems to be stopping her about it. She just kind of charges forward.
Yeah, the lighting's just right, so you can kind of dip your head some and don't have to worry about it.
Neil is sort of behind Wynn, just following in her wake so he doesn't have to try and push through the cloud as she just shoulders people out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's definitely got just enough menace to where she parts that crowd some.
Takes Britta a bit longer to get through the crowd with all the college-age people and the attention.
And she gets a lot of attention.
She follows in that wake as best she can, but she's the last to get to the table.
And there's Miles.
Just lounging, waiting for everyone to finally arrive. How's it been?
Johnny doesn't look so hot. He's got a little bit of a hungry look in his eyes, and it seems as though he's probably just been forgetting to change out his clothes. He just looks a little bit rumpled, a couple of blood stains on his shirt. He's been having a rough past couple of nights. He grunts.
I see. Excellent as usual. I was not able to find anything about the thing we discussed the other night. It seems to be coming up dead ends.
What were we talking about the other night?
You asked me to look into your beeper.
Oh, yeah.
What is this?
Did you call Kabir?
I could not reach him.
Johnny frowns.
Wynn kind of leans into the table and puts her elbows on the table. You can kind of see her mouth, but she seems to be purposely keeping it pulled over, her hood pulled over her eyes. We're probably going to need to talk about some changes that have happened.
Let's talk.
So I don't know if anyone has told you this, but when a gangrel frenzies, part of our beast kind of marks us, and it stays with us forever.
How does your beast mark you?
Usually it takes the form of things we've been fighting in animal feature. Johnny, Miles, when you guys went down in the fight, I lost my shit. And I lost my shit hard.
It's unfortunate.
And she kind of makes sure that her back is to the crowd. And she kind of pulls back her hood enough to reveal that the sides of her head, where she doesn't have any hair, as well as like her forehead from the bridge of her nose back, are marked with cobra scales.
Whoa.
And that's forever, guys.
Yeah, I mean, well, you sort of... I mean, Britta and I kind of knew, although seeing it in this light is a little different, but... I
have to practice feeding now because I have venom.
What?
And she will extend her fangs.
I would have thought that would be something that, like an ability you were using, but...
My God. Look at that.
She kind of discreetly puts her hands up so casual onlookers can't see.
When you guys take a look at it, it's not like the fangs of a vampire. They hook, and with her mouth open wide enough, you can actually see the glands and muscle tissue that's all up inside the roof of her mouth. It's a different mouth.
So I haven't been feeding well because I haven't had the balls to try and feed on a human yet.
Oh,
Can't blame you.
I don't have great control over the venom yet.
what does it do?
It seems to be some kind of necrotic effect.
What, like it turns them into a zombie?
No, like it causes the tissue to die. Areas turn black. It's not been good for the things I've tried biting.
And it's like forever? You
Forever.
The things you try biting, do they still relax and at least let you...
Yeah.
All right, well,
Can't,
that's an upside.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be biting people then. I mean, does
I
that go
have to.
away?
I have to eat
She's
honey.
gotta.
I'm sure you'll get control of it soon.
I mean, you can feed
Just-
on animals,
yeah.
Britta, but it's not the same.
It won't be enough. I would have to go through an awful lot of animals in order to get enough.
Then we'll have to stay behind you until you figure out how to get this right.
Yes, I mean, it will be an adjustment, but we can help you in any way possible.
At this point, hoodies.
I mean, it looks kind of badass. It's definitely doing it better than the Setites we keep facing. They seem to like the cue ball look.
I know a couple of biker bars we could probably go hunting at if you want. Probably find some jackass named Snake who likes it.
There's a lot of people
You know what,
in the
that's a
city
thought.
with snake stuff, so...
Well,
Wait, why is that a theme here, or?
That's just what Dario told me. There's a lot of guys who are bald with snake Oh.
What?
I should probably ask him about that.
I don't want to be biting Setite property, but
I mean,
Well, yeah, also snake is not an uncommon tattoo, though,
fair.
I think.
I'm sorry, Wynn. I thought it would have been some discipline of yours that did that, but, well, Miles is right. You pull it off.
Thanks, hon.
Johnny kind of reaches up and just palms the top of Wynn's head so that he can turn head to look to see how far the scales go back.
You can lift the braid too if you need to, buddy.
Man, it just keeps on going, huh?
Yeah. I'm kind of glad I don't have a hood, like a snake hood.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say,
that,
No, I
you do have a...
That would be a lot.
actually, that is not, unfortunately, something that's not out of the cards. Old enough gangrel who have poor enough control over themselves, they're more animal looking than people looking.
Is that why Raven looked like she had, like, rhino hide or something?
Probably part of it.
I'm sorry, Wynn. It sucks to lose your good looks, but hey, look on the bright side. You could have just been born ugly like me.
I don't think either of us had luck that bad, Johnny. I do want to talk to you about something, though, Johnny, when we get the chance.
Yeah, no problem.
had a busy few days catching up in the last couple of weeks. And it looks like the Setites are on the move. So.
Yeah.
Johnny instinctively shoots a look over his shoulder.
Looks like the coast is clear.
Wynn nonetheless puts her hood back up. The coterie can still see her face, but she is still taking masquerade-friendly precautions.
So like I sort of said, I have an inroad with the Setites. You remember when you ran over, when we ran over that one with a car?
Yeah, Ramirez did that.
Yeah. So I found him when you guys were dealing with the sorcerer in the SUV. Took his phone, kind of got inside his head a little bit, and told him to call me, which is why a couple of days ago he said, hey, they're going to be moving soon, which is why I wanted to ask you guys, and we, it was a busy night. We kind of walked away from it, but when do you want to set an ambush? Because I think I could get him to get them to the right place. If we feed him the information that says, oh, hey, by the way, Miles is going to be here talking to Britta about hunting or something. Just feed a too perfect opportunity.
I want to just
to the Assamites?
I want to run this back a few steps to make sure I have
Setites?
all of this clear.
Not the Assamites.
What?
Way back when we were getting attacked by Assamites in the streets, you managed Setites in the streets.
Who would make that mistake again?
It's hard to tell with some of these clans that aren't part of the Camarade. Anyhow, the point is, you're trying to tell me that when we fought these Setites, you grabbed one of them, got in his head, and you're only telling us now, after a couple of days, that he's let you know that they might be gunning for us again?
I mentioned it at the time, and then we sort of got distracted.
He did. I did go back and start working on it then.
Yeah.
When was this?
It was
The night we were
the
woken.
other night when you guys woke up and Am I Haven?
Oh, all right. My apologies.
I didn't tell you
I
in
couldn't
the
remember
meantime
all the
because you were in a
details
coma.
about the things that you were mumbling about when I had just come out of torpor.
Okay, well,
Gotcha.
then if you couldn't remember the details, why are you yelling at me about it?
Yelling is his volume. It's how he shows love.
Johnny's
It is
Johnny's
loud in
jaw
here.
tightens, just kind of throws his hands up,
Regardless,
sits back in his chair, and just starts puffing away in a cigarette.
I have been working on the problem since Neil brought it to my attention. I believe I may have found something to set it up. If they feel like they can both humiliate me and damage me at the same time, it'll probably be the opportunity they can't miss. So, doing something for the Archon or something in regards to protecting the prince after that thing, they will probably take that opportunity to hit me. And if I don't die, at least embarrass me.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, they've been coming at you with Tech 9s and SUVs. Why do you think they just want to embarrass you? Like, what do you have that they want
They
besides
don't want to just
hurting
embarrass
you?
me, but
Dignity.
they will. It'll become more of a target. Before, these are targets of opportunity. If you want to set an ambush, you need to bait it better than just being an opportunity. Draw them to you. So add on to it.
All right. You're clearly building up to a thing.
Right.
What is the thing?
I will probably just let leak that we are about to do something in specific to this Archon. I haven't yet come up with a specific detail yet, but they know he's been in and around town. They know that I talked to him, and they want that information.
If
They
I
want
were
that-
them, I wouldn't want to go up against an Archon if you
Well,
were
he's
my
already
target.
right, but he's already left, and they are aware of my familiarity with him already, and they're targeting me.
I think what he's trying to say is, if he has to go pick up a suit for the Archon or something like that, it would look really bad if he showed up with a few bullet holes in him.
Or the suit.
Right, yes. So if we mess up a thing that is proposed to us that is important, and possibly I die, I don't... It's really up to them at this point, but
It's baiting the mousetrap with both peanut butter and cheese.
yeah, they're not... These aren't...
It's not a delicious combination for us, but for mice, believe me, it works.
Mice eat peanut butter?
Yeah. Oh, mice love peanut butter.
I was just saying that right now these attacks haven't been very serious.
To try that.
The
Learn
last
something
time
new
that-
every day.
You're welcome.
The last time that we were in the car, they were just trying to kill you. I don't see where your dignity comes into play.
Right, that attack wasn't entirely too serious.
And you can't die
Wait, what?
just to be bait.
No, I mean, rules and one vampire?
Yeah?
This plan, the way that it's being proposed, it's putting you at danger, and
Well, yeah.
I understand that that's necessary
Look,
for bait,
kid,
but
last time they jumped us, yeah, they shot us with some guns. These things happen. I mean, you gotta get used to having a few holes poked in you with a couple of bullets. It's just gonna be the way it is.
Counterpoint, no, you don't.
Some of us lead more exciting lives at night than others.
Bingo.
look, I understand that we can take a few bullets, but how many is too many? That's what I'm worried about.
I don't know yet. I haven't
One.
found that number.
It's always the last one that kills you.
Yep.
That's fact. You learn something new every day.
Look, point is, I think this is probably a great idea. If the Setites want to take a hit at him, let's get ahead of this. They're gonna come after him. Let's give them an opportunity where he's vulnerable, because honestly, it is hard to kill him, but his pride and his dignity are things that they can hurt, and that often hurts Ventru more than anything else.
And on top of this, we need this to happen before we move on the Xantosa thing.
Yes.
What
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
Because-
throw out there is that if we make this look like too good of an opportunity, though, they're gonna say, nah, they're trying to bait us.
That's why
Whatever,
we're not
the
leaking
Setites
it. That's
are
why
dumb.
I'm going to leak it to a Setite ghoul so that the Setites get this information internally.
Right.
Okay.
And I can't make it look like a tomb prime. But yes, as I was saying,
Can we back it up a couple bullet points? Okay, I know that you hate when
Poor
I
choice
interrupt,
in
but
words.
I don't want to. I see what they- But I don't want to get too far away from it. You said that they want information about the Archon? What are you talking about?
they wanted information in regards to the guns, but that's a venture thing.
Wait, which guns?
The thing that I needed to do, that I picked up with Johnny. You got mentioned at some point. Why? What is it a big deal?
What? No, did the Setites bring you the guns?
Technically, they delivered the guns.
Okay, but then why would they want to know why the guns were there if they're the ones who brought the guns?
I don't know.
Well,
Is this going to help?
They sold us guns, but they don't know
Information
why
is
we're.
power.
Yeah,
They sold the Venture guns. They don't know why the Venture were buying them.
that's pretty much it.
Why are
I
the Venture buying them?
Really
That's a
wish I
great
could
question.
think.
I feel like that should be obvious at this point
Well, make it obvious.
in preparation for the thing.
The Sabbat.
Yeah.
Did we ever really talk about that?
Yes, that was the whole thing I talked about before you informed me that the Setites were going to attack me in the next couple days.
I don't know. We mentioned that after I woke up. It's hard to get details when that happens, huh?
It is, yeah, especially when you're busy.
With the Bruja being ordered to make more and the gathering of the guns, it's all the same game,
Right.
isn't it?
These are upcoming future problems.
Yeah, okay.
Let's handle the ones directly in front of us.
Right.
All
Which
right.
is the Setites and the Xantosa.
Right. As I was saying, I need this handled before we take the Xantosa. Otherwise, as we're coming out and dealing with that situation, that is when they're going to hit.
All right, let's
And
go
then-
put some snakes in baskets.
Stop it. That's just a tip. It's not. It just doesn't work before. It's not going to work now.
All right, it's St. Patrick's Day.
No, that one's. It makes more sense, but it's.
I mean, I like them both, to be fair.
It's New Haven.
All right. You know what? I'm going to let you guys do the quips.
I mean,
No, you're not.
Quips aside, what's good bait for them?
that
would be,
guy.
That would be me. Still.
No, but you doing what? You were saying picking up...
I
what, dry
probably
cleaning?
will keep it vague.
Picking up dry cleaning is pretty good.
No, it's not.
Actually, it might not be a bad idea if the lead this Setite ghoul gets is that you're picking up dry cleaning. Because...
Right.
Make it seem
But
like.
we need to be in a location like, yes.
Well, here's the thing. So when you picked up the. I'm sorry, I interrupted. I can see you steaming.
Continue.
That's just his cigarette.
You picked up the guns from the Setites.
Mm-hmm.
The Setites want to know why you're getting them.
Yes.
It would not be outside the bounds to assume that maybe the Archon is buying from not just the Setites. So if it's leaked that it's dry cleaning or something like that, but it's definitely not, it allows you to go to a more remote location so we don't have to worry about the masquerade or any of that kind of stuff in a similar pick-up scenario. So you and, I mean, I don't know, who did you go with? Johnny last time?
I mean, technically, the rest of the venture showed up.
I got called after the big hitters
It was
left.
after the fact.
Yeah,
okay.
it was-
But, I mean, then if it was just you and Marcos then, or you and Britta, because it's clearly known
Well-
that Britta's been spending time with you.
She's
then,
under my accounting, so
yeah,
yes.
there you go. So then it would be you guys going to pick up dry cleaning. Neil, lifts his hands and makes air quotes. But that dry cleaning was clearly a reference to guns from somebody else. Then they'll show up to get you and get information at the same time.
We don't have to overthink what dry cleaning is. The point is,
What?
I'm saying we don't have to overthink what that could possibly be.
Hard disagree.
The point is, a venture of Miles' standing is not going to go pick up actual dry cleaning. So if we put that term out there, they're going to know that it means something else.
If I hear the term dry cleaning one more time, I'm going to flip this table.
I think it's bolted to the
I
floor.
was going to point
Challenge
that out,
accepted.
It just
Johnny
needs to
sits
be-
back and kind of looks at you, waiting for you to actually pull it off
I'm
the floor.
not going to do it in here.
But no flipping the tables.
See, Miles told me I couldn't, and I always listen to Miles.
Britta, this
Easy
is
way to get
how
another
meetings
challenge.
usually go.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Look, it just needs to be something that the ghoul will run with, right?
Yes, it doesn't have, we don't have to get into the specifics. It's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. We're all on the same page. Why are we yelling?
No one was yelling. I'm just getting upset that people keep interrupting me.
Miles? So, we let slip to the school that we're going to quote-unquote pick up dry cleaning.
We all look at Wynn. and
Wynn
she says,
is gripping the edge of the table and just kind of twicks her head a little bit. I'm going to go outside.
Sorry, Wynn.
You're fine, honey.
So that's going to be handled. Great.
Okay. I can just make the call now. When and where?
But before we make the call, what's the trap?
The rest of us hiding wherever. That's why the where is important.
Yeah. We have equipment. I have things we can borrow.
We hide. We wait for them to show up.
Johnny looks at Wynn heading for the front of the club, grabs his smokes off the table, and says, "Hey, I'm going to make sure that she's all right.
Yep.
Let me know what you guys decide on." And he storms off after her.
We're gonna get nothing done.
Johnny, you make your way through the crowd. People kind of part out of your way, and it isn't very long once you step outside that you can see Wynn kind of off on her own, getting some air. It's light traffic, very cold out at this time. The people that are outside smoking, you can see their breath, which is something to be aware of as you spend your time out here.
Johnny makes his way over to where Wynn is, lights up 2 cigarettes, and hands her one.
Wynn takes it. She's just been kind of meandering, not in an alley, but alley adjacent. She just kind of looks at him and it's just like, I don't like crowds.
Understandable. But it also is probably one of the safer spots to be in the city at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go out to Miles Haven, it's a perfect spot for the Setites to hit us.
Yeah, no,
Neil's place already got hit.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but I think there's probably more things crawling around the woods than is normal.
I wouldn't particularly disagree with any of that. Plus, I don't have chairs. That's the trade-off you get when you have a fridge.
You ever seen my place?
No.
That's pretty much just a little concrete closet under a bar. It's,
Okay.
Yeah, not a place where you want to have company over.
That's fair. So listen. While you were out, we found out about your daughter. Namely, that you have one. And you have family.
Yeah.
And I have the feeling that that's been weighing on your mind since that announcement came out that you're supposed to make more.
A little bit. It's been a hard time.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about it?
Friend of a friend.
Well, I've got 2 kids. They ought to be about 14 and 18 now. When I first got embraced, it was just kind of a nightmare getting away from the Sabbat.
Understandably.
When I got back to the area, I started trying to pay too much attention to my family. And I think my daughter may have caught on that I was watching. I think I might have inadvertently really screwed her up. You know, they already were dealing with the fact that their dad had gone missing and was probably dead, but...
And then she starts seeing his face looking in the windows, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, that's only a bit away from what the Camarilla might consider a masquerade breach, so...
Right.
Weather's kind of stuck his neck out for me to make sure that they would be taken care of. But in return, I was his bully boy.
Seems like a reasonable compromise.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from my own family, I mean, I know what it's like to be grabbed and pulled into something you don't want any part of. I mean, I got the worst end of it being dropped into a ditch by the Sabbat and turned into a foot soldier with little question as to whether this is what I wanted or not. So I don't think I can justify doing that to somebody else. I don't care what kind of piece of garbage I find, like Miles was saying. It's not anything I can do.
So Johnny, I'm gonna bring this up not because I have any real plan in place for how to do it, but because it is an option that exists.
Yeah.
Gangrel are wanderers, man. We can probably get them out of the city if you don't want them here for this.
My family?
Yeah. I can't guarantee what would happen after or before, or what would happen if we got caught. But we know what's going to happen if they stay.
I appreciate the offer, but I don't think I want any fucking bloodsucker touching my family. And I mean that with as much respect to you as possible.
I know what I am, man.
It's what we are, right? So my daughter's been calling the number for the beeper that I've had. Someone's leaking it to her. His fist starts to kind of really
Take a puff,
tighten.
Johnny. We've been standing here for a minute.
I got this really awful, deep-sinking feeling that it's that shark-toothed fuck that found out about this, who's leaking the details of my family all over the city. There's only a couple of Brujah that aren't in his pocket. That's probably me, Weathers, and maybe Jane.
So
and he's gunning for us.
How do you fix it?
Realistically, probably asking Miles or Neil to come up with an actual clever plan, because I want to fix it with my fists. And I know that's probably not going to work out the way I want, but god damn it, it feels good in my head.
Well, I mean, you're not talking to someone who's unsympathetic to the idea. Puff.
Speaking of which, we should probably make sure both the two of us get fed, because
Yeah, I'm starving.
we're not looking so hot right now.
I mean, we were supermodels on the runway beforehand, too.
Yeah, let's take a walk around the block. Maybe you won't see something that might be convenient.
Sounds like a good plan.
The two of you make your way down and around the corner. For the most part, it's just kind of dumb, drunk college kids wandering about. And
That's my favorite flavor.
and you make your ways off to hunt. So back inside, the mortals seem to be having a good time. Again, it's another easy night, but way in the back, the three of you are still plotting.
So, where do you think, Miles? Where is someplace where you would receive a shipment of... He looks over at Wynn's vacated seat, dry cleaning.
Yeah.
And to make it believable, where you feel like we can set something up that's going to be away from prying eyes in case there's, things get loud like they do. Do you have any place in mind?
Somewhere where gunshots won't be so noticeable?
Yes, I have a place in mind. There's a set of docks on the south side. We uptick your building that the Ventru have been using for these kind of meetings in the past. I don't know if we own direct or just whatever, but it should be perfectly fine.
Oh, okay, that works.
It should give us an advantage point, and I'm pretty sure this kind of thing might have happened right before.
You want to call it a couple of nights from now?
Yeah, that would be best.
Okay.
I need to gather some gear.
I'm going to...
Do you need anything?
Do I need anything? What do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, besides normal equipment, Wynn said something about a bull?
Britta just looks at Neil.
Neil goes perfectly still.
Yes? No on the bull thing? What is happening here?
Yeah, that would be useful. I had asked Wynn, since she's a gangrel, she knows animals, if she could
It's something
get me
about the
one.
docket, right?
What?
The docket for me?
The sort of, yeah.
The dossier, the other thing that I was looking into.
Yeah, I know you think I didn't do anything while you were asleep, but I should have information coming in, hopefully soon, about that. Yeah, but, a bull, if you know where to get, cattle wholesalers around here or something.
What are you planning on doing with the bull?
I thought you said it was something like that time when you were looking up at the sky? Something mystical like that?
No, I just, feeding alternatives and things. I just need... Does it matter?
Bull?
Does it matter?
I mean, to a certain degree, I'm curious, and everyone else questions everything else I do.
Yeah, well, that's because...
So, yeah, it's important.
I'll pay you for it. It doesn't matter.
That's
You don't have
not the point. 1, this is vengeance. 2,
It's
I want to know now.
Malkavian stuff, okay?
You've never used that excuse before.
Neil sits for a second, and you could clearly see him looking back over his memories, like, wait, have I ever used that excuse before? Shit. Look, I just need it. Please, Miles.
Sure, no problem.
Where's the butt?
There's no but. He just looks directly over at Britta. It's like, no problem.
Britta just looks back.
Definitely nothing that's being held from each other. That we shouldn't hold secrets and whatnot.
No, I totally agree with you. I'm going to make that phone call before the time, and Neil just gets up and leaves the table. And you can see him pulling his phone out of his pocket as he leaves.
One of the huskier fellas, Neil bumps into, kind of gives him a scowl. But otherwise, people kind of ignore Neil.
This is the 90s. There are payphone booths.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He will step into a payphone booth and look at the number that contacted him before and call that number on a payphone.
Okay. It takes a little while, but someone eventually picks up. Hello?
Hey, it's the pawn shop calling.
What do you want?
Just wanted to give you a little bit of helpful information
Okay.
to thank you for everything you did and keeping up your end of the bargain.
What's the information?
Would your bosses be interested in knowing where Miles is going to be 2 nights from now?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. Okay, hold on. You hear him fumble around looking for a pen. And then the pen's ready, and... Okay, I'm ready. Tell me.
Okay. Do you know the King Freight warehouse down in the Southside Docks?
Is that the one that's nearby Elf Storag?
Near Dragon Point.
So, Elf Storag.
Yeah.
It's a self-storage, but some of the lights went out on the sign, so it just says Elf Storag.
Okay, well, how the hell was I supposed... Yeah,
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, okay, well, cool. Yes. Elf Storag. Miles is going to be picking up some dry cleaning at Elf Storag.
What, Miles is picking up...
At
Oh.
1:45 in the morning, which is a very specific time to pick up dry cleaning at Elf Storag.
Right. Okay. I'll relay it. He hangs up.
Oh, I was gonna... Oh, okay. And then he just hangs up.
Miles, Britta, while Neil wanders off to make his phone call in a bit of a hurry, two of you find yourselves alone in the back, staring at each other.
Child, what have I done to make you mistrust me so?
I don't mistrust you.
Because when it came to my information to be told to everyone, I was hiding secrets. But when Neil has something that he's clearly not wanting to talk about, you start covering for him.
I didn't know those were huge secrets for you.
They're not, but they were in a conversation you weren't part of, and you felt obligated to reveal those details before I'd gotten there. And then decided that my telling you not to be so overt in your listening was way too much. I'm trying to figure out where the impression is given that I am not trying to do things in the best interest of these people and yourself. Where did I move wrongly here?
I'm sorry if I said something of yours that I shouldn't have, Miles.
That's not entirely the point.
But I want to say it anyway.
Fair enough. I don't mind, and to certain degrees, I feel like Neil listens into most of my conversations. So, I'm fairly used to that. He's just a little bit more covert about it, keeping it close to himself. But everyone has secrets. And everyone has things they don't necessarily need to be told. And they don't necessarily want to be told. And sometimes I don't dole out information in a way that is seemingly like it's keeping secrets from people. Sometimes it's just too much information for people. We tried to plan an ambush tonight, and it took me a good 15 minutes to establish the plan that I'd already established. Sometimes it's better to just not. And then we will fill them in as we go along.
I trust you, Miles. You've earned that trust.
And I get that... Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I shouldn't have said what I said when I overheard you. And with Neil, he said he didn't want it known, and...
I guess the question is, do you think I should know?
I don't...
I'm leaving this into your judgment. This is within your first couple weeks of being into this thing. You've shown some good skills in making determinations and instincts and stuff. What do you think?
It's my instinct that we shouldn't be keeping things from each other. But...
What?
What if knowing could hurt each other?
Well, that is your call to make at this point. Do you think that sooner or later I'm going to find out? Do I need to find out? Or is this information going to make it problematic for me in the future? And that maybe I don't need it now. These are the things you're going to have to start considering entering into this world. And it gets murky. And it gets difficult. And sometimes the lines between friends and co-workers blur. And that is the problem. And making definitive calls is difficult. It is not always easy to maintain friendships.
Why aren't you angrier about this?
It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time that these things have happened to me, and that people around me keep secrets of their own, and I don't begrudge them.
Why wouldn't you just ask Neil?
Neil will tell me when he decides to, and I'm not necessarily asking you, but I was asking you why I hadn't earned the respect that you had essentially given Neil. I'm not asking for his secrets.
He asked me not to talk about it.
To anyone in specifically, or?
To the rest of the coterie.
How bad is it?
It seemed somewhat regular to me.
What did Wynn think of it?
She seemed a little more off-put.
Well, we shall see. I will provide him the bowl, and we'll see what happens from there. But if you choose to, you can let me know. But I will also let you keep it. This is part of entering the night.
So I should ask this now, then. When I did listen in on your conversation, and I heard some things some of the things I did think were your secrets, and I did protect them, Miles. Whatever that was about Lictor.
That's my newish title. And it might have got lost in the shuffle, but essentially I got a promotion within the Ventru.
I heard a bit of that, and it sounded like something I shouldn't know.
It's not common knowledge.
What I'm trying to tell you is that you have earned that respect. And if there's something I shouldn't talk about, I want you... Well, obviously you can't point it out to me so that I'd know it, but this goes both ways.
Feel free to also ask me. Part of the learning is learning what is and isn't acceptable.
Okay.
But normal morality doesn't work the same way.
I'm still finding that line.
It's going to become rougher.
Britta, Wynn, and Neil are driven to the farms of Wallingford, where there's a dairy farm waiting with the bull that's required for Neil's mysterious rite. Johnny drops the three of you off and heads off on his own, leaving the three of you out in the cold at a dairy farm.
Okay, so presumably it's just the one up in that pen over there. Maybe it's the one in the field. Do we know which one it is?
I would have to assume it's the one that's isolated from the other ones.
Okay, great. All right,
As you guys kind of tiptoe around, you can see that there's a group of them that are kind of set off to the side in a barn. The barn itself is like really old and dilapidated. For some reason, it's still in use. You kind of feel nervous for the animals just looking at it. But way off, away from any of the structures, is this small pen that has a bull kind of quietly pacing alone a week late at night, despite no stimulus. It's as if it knows something is coming for it tonight. As the group of you start walking the farm, the animals start becoming very nervous, and you can hear dogs barking and some animals kind of just reacting to the presence of vampires.
Wynn, can you help me with this, bringing it over near the bowl? It's a lot easier.
Yeah, you guys should get away from the barn.
He hefts a like one of those big Tupperware containers with a lid on it. It's kind of heavy. You can hear stuff like some metal things and whatever rattle around inside. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, you guys should get away from the barn.
Yeah,
You're upsetting the animals.
Wait, what do you mean you guys? Do you not?
No.
Perfect. Okay, before I ask you to kind of get out of sight for a little while, and because I really don't want you to look at me differently after this, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
They get to the outskirts of the pen, and he opens up the Tupperware container, and inside are bags of that red leaf, a big knife, and a long black linen cloak, a robe or something. On the inside is just written again in that same Arabic script in Sharpie on the inside of this Tupperware, and a manila folder, and he pulls out an incense brazier. If I light this up, can you just go kind of put it around the bowl, make him smell it a lot, kind of chill him out? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Cool. He'll just kind of stuff this incense brazier with red weed, light it up. It's got a really weird, opium and blood smell to it. It doesn't smell like pot. Let him breathe it in, if you can.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wynn.
Yeah. Wynn takes it and heads toward the bull. She keeps her movements gentle. She stays within the bull's line of sight so that it doesn't feel as though she's quite as much of a predator.
You can already feel that the bull watches you warily. Mm-hmm. Not so much assuming that you're here to hurt it, but the beast, with kind of its big brown eyes, definitely gets a sense that usually the animals that are separated don't really come back.
It's all right, buddy. Thank you. And she blows some of the smoke towards the bull's nose.
It staggers back slightly, but it doesn't resist the smoke. Why don't you give me a charisma plus animal ken?
1 success.
Okay. It definitely seems put at ease by you and then by whatever it is that it's breathing in.
She'll take a few more breaths once it seems to have recovered from the whoa factor and just...
It comes kind of closer.
Yep.
And at this point, you can probably...
She just kind of sets the bowl down.
Yeah.
The basin down and heads back.
Okay.
As Wynn walks off, Neil pulls the manila envelope out and then just hands it to Britta. It's still sealed. It has not been opened yet. So I called in a few favors, and I found this.
The dossier.
This is information about you. Who you were. Building records. I don't know everything that's in there right now. I haven't looked at it. Obviously, I've talked a lot tonight and over the last few nights about not being seen differently after people understand things and see things, but I want to make sure that you are aware of the choice that you can make.
What do you mean, aware of the choice?
Sometimes it's better not to know things, because once you know them, you can't choose not to know them. Trust me when I say sometimes you see things that you wish you hadn't seen, that you wish you could forget. Sometimes forgetting is a blessing. You get to choose who you are and what you know. But I think that choice should be yours. I didn't make it for you. I didn't read it.
Neil.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I open this now?
You can do whatever you want. It's up to you.
I think I understand the warning that you're trying to give me, but I have so much that I can't remember. Everything is a void. And look, maybe I don't want to be who I'll become if I do know, but I know for certain I don't want to be how I am now. And I appreciate, I really do. Thank you for not opening it, but I want you guys to know.
I would maybe talk to Wynn about what's inside there. As much as I'm curious, I'm not going to remember very much starting pretty soon. So.
Neil, with everything that was in the basement, I don't see how we would see you differently. It's just some plants.
Yeah. We'll see. Wynn's coming back. And he sort of hefts the Tupperware and steps very awkwardly, over the fence as best he can, stumbles a little bit. And
Buddy, you're gonna trip. Let me take that while you come over. Give me the box.
He hands it over.
We'll be back soon, okay? We gotta be on time for when Johnny gets back.
Yeah. Remember, so give me about 8 hours. If I'm not out of it then, come wake me up. Okay. And then, if you can, and he sort of reaches in and brings out a glass basin. If you're up for it and want our best chance of success, I think just like a pint of your Vitae.
Britta holds out her wrist.
At the end. Not now.
The end?
Yeah, this has to be done in the right order.
But we appreciate the enthusiasm.
We'll see.
Sorry.
You're good, honey.
Don't...
Neil, do what you need to do.
He takes the bin back. Don't look at me different. And he just... he can't quite look at you guys anymore, hustles up to the incredibly stoned bowl.
I left the incense up there.
Thank you. I need it.
Neil, you're left to your own devices, and standing in the middle of this pen, dazed and confused and kind of shifting slightly in a stupor, is this big, dark-furred bull.
Neil opens up the Tupperware bin again, takes out the bowl, the knife, the robe, keeps the incense and the caliph circulating in the air underneath the bowl, and then pushes the Tupperware underneath the bull's head and neck, slowly strips out of his clothes until he's just standing there completely naked, folds his clothes and leans them against the fence.
You strip down, and the bull itself is actually pretty malleable. Whenever you take it by the horns and move it, it seems to just sort of go with it, embracing whatever it is that you intend to do.
Neil is extremely nervous because he's only done this a couple times before. And then puts on the black robe. It's just sort of gauzy and drapes across him. It's open in the front. It's just for ritual more than anything else.
Right.
Gets into the Tupperware tub like it was a bath underneath the bull, takes a long curved dagger, sort of pushes the bull's chin up, and then slits its throat.
You slit its throat, and hot blood starts to pour out. You can actually see the steam in the air from the heat of it, and it noisily pours out.
just showering Neil.
The bowl kind of makes this, like, desperate, drowsy noise, and very quickly it loses its life, and the light in its eyes just sort of fades.
Neil lets the blood just completely drench him and start filling up this Tupperware and just lays back, bathing and luxuriating in the blood, allowing a lot of the Khalif-laced blood to just get into his mouth and move through his body.
It hits you all at once, and you can feel your fangs bared, and you stare right up at the stars, and everything is laid bare to you, and before it even registers what's happening, you begin the climb. You see Neil wander off to be alone, and find yourselves left, just the two of you. The animals die down. It's a very, very quiet night. There aren't really insects around this time of year, so It's just cold air and almost no clouds overhead.
Britta's holding an unopened manila folder pretty tightly, and she hoists herself up to sit on a nearby fence, kind of staring at the seal of it.
He didn't leave his will, did he?
No, sorry, this is, it's the dossier.
Oh. Wynn kind of steps up on one part of the fence and kind of straddles it and sits near Britta.
Britta looks to Wynn, almost as if she's looking for confirmation, but looks back to the dossier and rips it open.
Do you mind if I'm sitting here while you read it?
No, not at all, actually.
Tell me if you want me to look away.
So inside, it looks like a lot of bureaucratic jargon, but there's a few things that catch your eye pretty quickly. One is the name Brittany Ashcroft. The next thing that you notice is that apparently you are the owner of a cafe referred to as Cedarhurst.
Well,
So you're landed gentry.
I have a name.
And there is a
You always
ton
had a name, honey.
of documents surrounding that. In addition to this, however, there's a state ID, there's a birth certificate. The birth certificate looks to be like a copy, and the copy you're looking at is pristine, like uncomfortably pristine. Can I get an investigation roll from either one of you? If you possess the knowledge.
I do not
Damn it.
possess the knowledge.
Sorry, guys. Ask me in an hour. 8 hours.
Oh, we can ask you in an hour if you want.
Yeah.
If you kick him enough, actually. Wait. So you look at it. Again, the documents look very, very, very pristine and very well organized. So well organized, it looks like some of this may have been fabricated, but with the intention of getting you the property that you own.
What's the date of birth on the birth certificate? Specifically, how old is she?
So looking at the document, the birth date listed is May 20th of 1978.
So you're 20.
News to me.
Happy birthday. Belated or early, you take your pick.
Let's hope for early.
Yeah.
Brittany, wow, that sounds weird. Brittany Ashcroft. I'm sorry, I think I like Britta better.
Who are you apologizing to? Britta, don't go through this thinking that you owe me an explanation for who you were or who you want to be. This is all about giving you options about who you want to be going forward.
I want that explanation for myself. I get that you offered to help me, all of you, and you have, but you know what, to some extent I do owe you an explanation of how this happened.
Alright, but no apologies. Not to us.
Okay.
Neil, you climb your way up to the heavens. To describe it as an out-of-body experience is and really begin to cover the sensation, or the lack thereof. As you float amidst the sea of stars, you find yourself drawn deeper into its darkest aspects, and you are confronted with visions, palpable, living nightmares. Many of them come into the form of your own social anxieties, things that you want and can never have. The people who you wish had admired you but never will. Those who don't recognize you, don't care to, but step on you anyways. You are made painfully aware of your own insignificance.
Okay.
And that's when you hear it. He has continued to associate with what? Send Reese. Reese will deal with this.
Come on, Neil.
And you hide. At least you try to. But the psychic presence of the Tremere is unmistakable. And it chases you down the hall, slowly stalking, inevitable, until you are cornered, helpless, and doomed.
Oh, God.
What do you do?
Oh, God. I didn't want this. Neil just tries to shrink further away from, but there's nowhere to go. He has no weapons, no knowledge, nothing can save him, and he just starts screaming and screaming, hoping his voice and his words and wordless intonations just tear apart those who seek to harm him.
For a moment, you feel your thoughts splayed out like a butterfly underneath glass. You can sense this Tremere reaching into your deepest, darkest memories. Moments with your sire, walking you through the incantations and teaching you the secret languages. As he dissects you, you find yourself digging deep and tapping into the power that is available to all the Sheepu who dare to climb the heavens. And you push this terrible spirit away. Why don't you give me a willpower roll? You must confront your fears. Technically, it should be... Actually, no, I'm actually going to have you roll courage.
Oh, shit.
You may spend a point of willpower.
I'm definitely spending a willpower.
But unfortunately, at this point, when attempting to climb the ladder of heaven, you are confronted with your worst fears.
Mm-hmm. What is the difficulty you're looking for here?
6.
6? Okay. Then 2 successes.
Great. The presence that calls itself Reese is pushed away, and you reach the stars. And offered to you is the path to enlightenment, but desires that are much more terrestrial. And that's when you see her waiting for you. Nara. And this moment, in this kind of perfect bliss, you realize that Nara, the Assamite vizier from your past, has also climbed the ladder of heaven and has found you here.
It has been so long, beloved. I have missed you so.
Time is irrelevant here. She approaches. She has kind of like long, dark hair, chestnut eyes. Her skin is like kind of like a dark bronze. And here, she has this ethereal beauty that doesn't quite exist on Earth. And when she rests against you, you can kind of feel the bridge of her nose against your chest.
I know what my sire taught me. I know this isn't real, but I want it to be so bad.
That is what it means to be a Sheepu. Here, you can choose what is real and what is false. What if the world you've left behind is false? What if I can be real? All you need do is hold me, and I am here.
I want to, but it's not for even an Ashipu to tell a Malkavian what is real and what is not.
Hubris. Nothing is real.
I know.
Roll.
What am I rolling here?
You're going to cast the ritual now.
Alright. I'm definitely spending a willpower on this.
Okay.
Seems like a wise move.
Okay. That is a success. That's 3 successes.
You succeed in performing the ritual, and in its final moments, you feel an ice-cold, charcoaled hand, like the hand of a child, caress your cheek, comforting you.
Oh, God.
When you look up, you find staring down at you a boy. Can't be older than 11 years old. Small, diminutive, but its skin It is black and charcoaled, like the boy had been burned alive in some terrible accident. Its eyes are gone, and when it speaks to you, there are ancient fangs in its mouth. The path must split. All things change. I am his herald, and he wakes. And like that, the ritual comes to a conclusion, and you find yourself staring up at the stars, dazed and confused and doused in blood.
Neil just jerks like coming out of a nightmare in this huge bucket full of, it's freezing, what is now probably mostly coagulated blood. Screaming for just a second before getting control of himself.
Those who are away on the farm can hear the sounds of Neil screaming. And it is not a natural scream. It is like the screech of a wild vampire.
How long has it been?
About 8 hours.
Wynn just launches off the fence post because her squishy is in trouble.
Britta moves unnaturally fast as well.
The two of you rush for the hill and find the site where he has clearly performed his ritual. And there, eyes wide and glaring around, confused, is Neil. Nude, blood-soaked, however, over his shoulders, kind of hanging loose, is something of like black fabric that is soaked and clinging to him.
Neil, are you okay?
I saw the... Yeah.
Wynn pulls off her leather jacket.
No. I have to do this. We have to finish it. I saw what I needed to see. I think it's disorienting, but it's like waking from a dream. There's insight, and then it flees, and I need to...
Okay, what do you need us to do?
This now, before the dream flees.
Okay.
Neil, kind of confused for a second, looks around on the ground.
Britta hands him the knife.
Yeah, that's what... one of them, and he keeps looking. There should be a basin, like a glass bowl, like...
Wynn looks around and
Easily found.
and picks it up.
He's got a ton of blood in his eyes.
Neil looked past it like 5 times and
Yeah.
did not see it. Okay.
All
Alright. And he slices open his wrist and then squeezes and wills a point of vitae into the bowl, and then holds the knife out for one of you
Wynn
to take
takes it and slices her wrist.
A very sharp edge. It slices you right open.
Fuck. Little surprised at how well it cut. She lets a point of her blood enter the bowl and kind of carefully hands the knife to Britta.
Britta takes the knife, makes a careful slash, and wills her own blood into the basin.
Neil holds the basin in front of him, doesn't take the knife back, swirls the blood around, and watches the reflection of the stars unnaturally in the blood. Around you is this eerie, unsettling feeling, like something is very wrong. This is no hedge magic, this isn't thaumaturgy even, this is something wrong.
Neil, what the fuck are you doing?
Britta, your Wynn's response catches your eye. About up until this moment, what he's doing doesn't actually really jump out to you as terribly strange. You find yourself even maybe accustomed to it, but her reaction makes this instantly contagious, and you feel a shiver go up your spine.
Neil, are you sure?
When the ambient spirits of the area have a reaction, like everything's attention is suddenly drawn to this, and nervously, every single spirit, even the most minor motes of these creatures, set their gaze up to the sky at once, and it is very disconcerting.
Neil looks up from the bowl, looks directly at the stars. The blood is blinked out of his eyes, and his pupils have dilated to the point where you cannot see the sclera. His eyes are all black, taking in all the starlight. Tell me, when is the best season to hunt the Zentosa? And I will use the 3rd rank of Path of the Heavens and call down the Hunter's Moon.
Go ahead, give me a roll.
And I will spend a point of willpower on this too. So I'm going to do that, and my difficulty is reduced by 3.
Yes.
So my difficulty is 3s. Do 10s explode on a willpower check? There's not like a thing to it. Well, that sucks because I got 3 10s.
Oh, Jesus.
That is 4 successes.
Great.
Mechanically, the 3 of us, when we go to fight the Xantosa, gain 4 free points of willpower that can be spent during that night for that encounter.
Sweet.
In addition.
In addition to your normal willpower, you just get 4 extras for that purpose.
Neil, the heavens speak to you, and your questions are answered.
The first night of the 2nd month, February 1st, that night, the Xantosa, that's our best chance of success. He will be weakest and we will be strongest then. And then Neil blinks a few times and sort of staggers a little bit, like this took a lot out of him, and his eyes are back to normal. All of a sudden, the cold seems to hit him, and everything seems to hit him at once. And he doesn't collapse, but he definitely staggers.
Wynn swings the jacket around him when he starts to react more like Neil. But it's clear she's going on instincts to protect, but she is not happy by what she's seen.
Neil, are you...
Cold. I'm really cold.
It's then that the group will hear, a horn goes off again, and out by the road, you can see a very bored Johnny waiting for the group of you to get your asses in gear.
Johnny leans out of the window of the semi-truck he's driving. In fact, it's funny because it's a different vehicle than the one that he dropped you guys off with. But he's peering out into the dark. Looks like he's not really accustomed to seeing this dark of light. Catches what he thinks might be your silhouettes and kind of waves at you.
Go tell him we'll be right there, Britta.
Okay.
Wayne, can you help me? Can you do me a favor?
What?
I don't want Johnny to see me like this.
I know. Let's wipe you down.
She gave me I'm gonna hose off or something, and can you just dump everything in the bucket and put the lid back on? Please?
Can you make it to the hose by yourself, and are you gonna set off the animals when you get there?
Oh. Yeah.
Then you put the shit away, and I will bring the hose to you, and we will talk about why you are dabbling in this Lovecraftian nightmare bullshit.
The horn of the semi blares again.
Britta has gotten there by that point. She flinches at the noise, but she climbs up and sits in the seat next to you.
Where the hell are the others?
They're just cleaning up, but
Alright, well, I got some presents for y'all. He reaches in the back of the semi, tosses a leather jacket in your lap.
Britta picks it up and examines it.
It's a pretty robust biker jacket. Big, thick silver zippers, and hasn't been worn in yet. Looks a little bit, funny because it's brand new. Definitely looks like it fits your size, and when you do put it on, it feels like you're kind of wearing armor now.
Britta does, after checking the tag, seeing that it is actually... Visually, it's not Johnny's size, clearly, but she doesn't seem to understand it's a present until she puts it on and her back straightens so she understands what it is.
Now you're starting to look like a kindred. And here, he puts a bag of clothes and a couple of blankets and towels and just a few other things. I'm not sure what the hell you guys were getting up to out here, but I can't imagine it was clean. So here, I don't know if Wynn or Neil needs that.
Britta accepts it and looks down at it. She trades him the manila folder.
What the hell's this?
It's, the dossier. I'll bring this out to them and
dossier what?
It's, my info, I guess, from Neil.
He looks down at the interior of it. Brittany? Look, I don't really need to know any of this stuff. He kind of tosses it onto his, the console of the truck.
It didn't, really feel right to me either. I'll bring this out to them anyway, okay?
Alright. Be quick, we gotta get moving.
Hey, Johnny?
Yeah.
Thank you. I
got it.
really like the jacket.
It looks good.
Britta will bring the bucket back out to them.
Wynn goes up to the barn and finds a hose. There's one near the stalls, presumably.
Yep, absolutely.
She cranks the water on. She unfurls the hose as she brings it back out to Neil.
Neil dumps the blood out. The extra blood out.
She hoses him down, puts her thumb over the spigot, and just
so cold.
hoses him down.
Neil, you are kindred.
but
But this is still
guess who doesn't have any points of fortitude?
really cold.
Fuck. I can see it, you know.
See what?
I was afraid of this.
Of Neil,
You're looking at me different.
I'm looking at you different because I'm scared for you, you asshole.
Look, Wynn,
This isn't okay what you're doing, Neil.
I did it for knowledge, and knowledge is a weapon, and you saw what Miles was doing, and we're gonna need weapons.
We're gonna need weapons, but we need you.
Yeah, because I can get knowledge.
We
and
need
that's
you
about it.
because you're fucking you jackass. You are a member of the coterie. You are a member of the family, and you are dabbling in this shit. How can I protect you from this?
I mean,
I can't.
I need to provide too.
You provide, Neil. You are enough.
You don't overhear Miles as much as I do.
Miles is an asshat too, and I'll protect him too.
I'm providing knowledge. Not just for all of you. Selfishly too. I need it.
Britta silently brings Neil a towel and a change of clothes that seems like they might fit him.
Where'd you get these?
Johnny.
Oh, that was thoughtful. Let's get in the truck. It's freezing.
Put on the clothes first.
Try and hefts the bucket.
The clothes look like they're all like real like thick, heavy duty kind of work clothes, like a Carhartt shirt and like a pair of Dickies pants. A little bit big, but
Neil puts them on and then gathers up his clean clothes, which he left over a fence, and then marches down to the truck. Trying like sort of struggling with this somewhat blood slick tub.
Wynn just grabs the tub from him. Don't pretend. Don't pretend you're okay right now.
Britta lingers and looks to the remainder of the blood that still stains the ground before heading off behind the two of them.
Gonna do feral whispers to try and call Chaps, her Fisher Cat familiar.
Little monster comes,
Hey, buddy, free food. The dead stuff.
gives you like an indignant look when you seem to presume he doesn't understand exactly what you meant.
Don't give me that look. You've misunderstood me before.
Kind of accepts this truth. And then it heads off to steal as much as it can.
Tell your friends.
The suggestion seems to resonate with your monstrous Fisher Cat.
Mm-hmm. And Wynn climbs into the cab, puts another blanket over Neil, angrily swaddling him.
Johnny doesn't say anything to Neil, but definitely gives him a few hard stares in the rearview mirror.
And Neil, in his incredible powers of observation, tries his best not to notice and fails utterly.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's not very good at it.
He's really good at noticing things.
There's a loud rumble of the diesel engine, and the group of you head out for a quiet, I mean air quotes because of diesel, but for a quiet ride.
Johnny turns up the radio. And
AC/DC?
Judas Priest.
Okay.
And the group of you head off.
Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. Britta, the unknown new embrace, was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Ventrue was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was January Grunge Love Fest by Technoax. Visit them online at technoax.com. TEKNOAX.com. Path of Night uses the 20th Anniversary Edition rule set of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the Storyteller system are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Path of Night Pod, on Facebook at facebook.com/pathofnightpodcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred.
The Royale?
Yeah. Or the Royal. Whatever you want it.
Motherfucker, what is the name of the bar?
No, we argue about Camarilla. I'm so okay with us being like, yeah, meet down at the Royal.
Yeah, but Lex should know what it actually is.
No, he shouldn't.
Why? Because we haven't weighed in on which way it is the Camarilla.
We've weighed in several times, and it's Camarilla.
No, he is definitely weighed in on what it is, and it depends on which NPC we're talking to.
Yeah.
Therefore, he hasn't weighed in.
What's Upton Roland say?
Who's that?
What's up, then Roland?
Rollins has said Camarilla.
Camarilla.
Damn it! I wanted him to say Relic. So I hate his guts.
He's on your side.
The
Or are you on
sheriff.
his?
The sheriff says Camarilla.
It's like, well, fuck you, Ruff. Thank you.
Well, I mean, he does.
It's the actual pronunciation is